Charles Darwin. Charles Robert Darwin was an English naturalist and biologist who was born on February 12, 1809, in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England. He was the fifth of 6 children born to Robert Darwin and Susanna Darwin. Darwin's father was a successful physician and financier, and his grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, was a renowned philosopher, poet, and naturalist. Darwin attended the University of Edinburgh to study medicine, but he found the experience uninspiring and left after 2 years to study theology at Christ's College, Cambridge. While at Cambridge, Darwin became interested in natural history and began collecting beetles, birds, and other specimens. He also met John Stevens Henslow, a professor of botany, who became a mentor and encouraged Darwin's interest in natural history. After graduating from Cambridge in 1831, Darwin was offered a position as an unpaid naturalist aboard the HMS Beagle, a ship that was to survey the coast of South America and the Pacific Islands. Darwin jumped at the opportunity, and in December of 1831, he set sail on the Beagle. During the 5-year voyage, Darwin collected and studied numerous specimens, including fossils, plants, and animals. He also observed geological formations and made extensive notes on the flora and fauna of the regions he visited. One of the most significant stops on the journey was in the Galapagos Islands, where Darwin made observations that would later lead him to develop his theory of evolution. Upon returning to England in 1836, Darwin became a Fellow of the Royal Society and began work on his first book, The Structure and Distribution of Coral Reefs, which was based on his observations during the Beagle voyage. He also married his cousin, Emma Wedgwood, with whom he would have 10 children. In 1838, Darwin began to develop his theory of evolution by natural selection, a process by which certain traits become more or less common in a population over time based on their survival and reproduction. Darwin was influenced by the work of Thomas Malthus, who had argued that populations increase faster than the food supply, leading to competition for resources and the selection of those individuals best adapted to their environment. Charles Darwin continued to work on his theory of evolution for more than 20 years, gathering evidence from a variety of sources and testing his ideas against criticism and objections. He published his landmark book, On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, in 1859, which presented his theory of evolution and its implications for the natural world. The book caused a sensation and was widely debated by scientists, theologians, and the general public. Some were convinced by Darwin's argument, while others rejected it on religious or philosophical grounds. Darwin continued to publish on the subject, including The Descent of Man and The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, which explored the implications of evolution for human beings and the animal kingdom. In addition to his work on evolution, Darwin also made significant contributions to other areas of science, including geology, botany, and zoology. He received numerous honors during his lifetime, including the Royal Society's Copley Medal and the Order of Merit, and was buried in Westminster Abbey upon his death on April 19, 1882. Darwin's legacy has been profound, not only for his contributions to science but also for the broader cultural impact of his ideas. His theory of evolution challenged traditional religious and philosophical views of the natural world and laid the foundation for modern biology and the study of the natural world. Here is some additional information about Charles Darwin's life. After completing his voyage on the HMS Beagle, Darwin returned to England and began to analyze his collections and notes. He corresponded with many naturalists and scientists, including Thomas Huxley, who would become a close friend and advocate of his work. Darwin suffered from poor health throughout his life, likely due to a combination of factors, including overwork, stress, and a chronic gastrointestinal condition. He often took extended breaks from his work to recover, and he relied on his wife and family for support. In addition to his scientific work, Darwin was also a devoted family man and spent much of his time with his wife and children. He and Emma shared a deep love for each other and for their children, and they remained devoted to each other throughout their lives. Darwin was deeply interested in social and political issues and was an advocate for various reforms, including the abolition of slavery and improved working conditions for laborers. He was also a member of several scientific organizations and played an active role in promoting science education and public engagement with science. Despite his many accomplishments, Darwin was a private and sometimes insecure person. He struggled with bouts of anxiety and depression and was often torn between his love of science and his concern for the impact of his work on society. He was known for his humility and kindness and was respected by both his colleagues and his opponents. Darwin's impact on science and culture continues to be felt today, as his ideas continue to shape our understanding of the natural world and our place within it. His work has been both celebrated and criticized, but it remains a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and the importance of evidence-based reasoning. After returning from his voyage on the HMS Beagle, Darwin settled in the village of Down, Kent, where he lived with his wife and children for the rest of his life. He devoted himself to his work and continued to publish books and papers on a variety of scientific topics, including geology, botany, and the behavior of earthworms. Darwin had a strong interest in the study of animal behavior, and he conducted numerous experiments and observations on the subject. He also corresponded with other scientists and naturalists around the world, sharing information and ideas and collaborating on research projects. In addition to his scientific work, Darwin was a passionate advocate for social justice and equality. He supported various reform movements, including women's suffrage, and he opposed imperialism and racism. He also took an active role in the local community, serving as a member of the Down Parish Council and supporting various charitable causes. Darwin's health continued to be a concern throughout his life, and he suffered from a range of symptoms, including headaches, fatigue, and anxiety. He sought medical treatment from various physicians and specialists, but his condition remained largely unexplained. Darwin was deeply affected by the death of his daughter Annie, who died at the age of 10 from an unknown illness. He was also troubled by the social implications of his theory of evolution and the controversy it generated. He continued to work on his ideas, however, and remained committed to the pursuit of scientific knowledge until his death. Darwin died on April 19, 1882, at the age of 73, and was buried in Westminster Abbey. He was mourned by many in the scientific community and by the public at large, and his legacy continues to be celebrated today. His work on evolution by natural selection remains one of the most significant scientific discoveries of all time, and it has had a profound impact on our understanding of the natural world and our place within it. Despite being known for his work on evolution, Darwin did not publish his ideas on the subject immediately. It wasn't until 1858, when he received a letter from Alfred Russel Wallace outlining similar ideas, that he was prompted to publish his own work on the subject. This led to the joint presentation of their theories in 1858, and the publication of Darwin's On the Origin of Species in 1859. In addition to his scientific pursuits, Darwin was also an avid reader and collector of books. He had an extensive personal library, which included works on a wide range of subjects, including literature, philosophy, and theology. He also corresponded with many writers and intellectuals, including John Ruskin and George Eliot. Darwin was a lover of nature, and spent much of his time outdoors, observing and studying the natural world. He had a particular fascination with plants and spent many hours studying their behavior and characteristics. He also enjoyed walking and hiking, and often took long walks through the countryside near his home. Darwin was known for his meticulous attention to detail and his rigorous scientific methodology. He was a skilled observer and was known for his ability to draw insights from seemingly mundane details. He was also a gifted writer and communicator, and his works were widely read and admired for their clarity and accessibility. Darwin's theories on evolution and natural selection were controversial at the time, and he faced significant opposition from religious leaders and other members of the scientific community. Despite this, he remained committed to his work and continued to publish and defend his ideas throughout his life. Darwin's legacy continues to be celebrated today, and his ideas on evolution and natural selection remain a cornerstone of modern biology. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in the history of science, and his contributions to our understanding of the natural world have had a profound impact on our society and culture. Darwin was an avid traveler and had the opportunity to visit many different countries throughout his life. In addition to his famous voyage on the HMS Beagle, he also traveled to places like Egypt, Australia, and New Zealand. These experiences gave him a first-hand look at the diversity of life on Earth and informed many of his ideas about evolution and natural selection. Darwin was a family man and had 10 children with his wife, Emma. Although he was often absorbed in his scientific work, he was a loving father and devoted considerable time and attention to his children. He was particularly close with his son George, who followed in his father's footsteps and became a noted botanist. Darwin had a close circle of friends and colleagues, including other prominent scientists like Thomas Huxley and Joseph Hooker. He corresponded with many of these individuals regularly and often exchanged ideas and insights with them. In addition to his scientific work, Darwin was also interested in politics and social issues. He supported causes like the abolition of slavery and the improvement of working conditions for laborers. He also became involved in local politics in his home village of Down, serving on the parish council and advocating for the construction of a new school. Towards the end of his life, Darwin's health began to decline rapidly. He experienced a range of symptoms, including heart palpitations and severe exhaustion, and was largely confined to his home in Down. Despite his declining health, he remained active in his scientific pursuits, and continued to correspond with colleagues and work on his research until the very end of his life. Darwin's legacy continues to be debated and discussed today, and his ideas on evolution and natural selection remain a topic of interest and controversy. Despite this, his contributions to the scientific community are widely acknowledged, and his work continues to influence and inspire scientists and researchers around the world. Darwin was interested in a wide variety of scientific disciplines beyond evolution, including geology and botany. He corresponded with many leading scientists in these fields, exchanging ideas and information with them. Despite his groundbreaking work on evolution, Darwin never earned a degree in biology or any other scientific field. He was actually trained as a clergyman and attended Cambridge University to study theology. However, his interest in natural history led him to pursue scientific research instead of a career in the church. Darwin's work on evolution and natural selection was deeply influenced by the work of other scientists, including his grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, who had proposed a similar theory of evolution many years earlier. Darwin was also influenced by the work of Thomas Malthus, an economist who wrote about the role of population growth in shaping human societies. Darwin was known for his extensive correspondence with other scientists, many of whom he had never met in person. He wrote thousands of letters throughout his life, exchanging ideas and insights with colleagues from all over the world. In addition to his scientific work, Darwin was also interested in the arts and was an accomplished artist in his own right. He drew detailed illustrations of the plants and animals he observed, and many of these drawings were later published in his scientific works. Despite the controversy surrounding his ideas, Darwin was widely respected and admired during his lifetime. He was awarded numerous honors and accolades for his scientific contributions, including the Copley Medal, the highest honor awarded by the Royal Society of London. Darwin's work on evolution and natural selection continues to be studied and debated today, and his legacy remains an important part of the scientific and intellectual landscape of the modern world. In conclusion, Charles Darwin was a highly influential figure in the field of biology, and his ideas on evolution and natural selection have had a lasting impact on the scientific community. His groundbreaking research challenged long-held beliefs about the origins of life on Earth and inspired new ways of thinking about the diversity of life on our planet. Despite facing considerable controversy and opposition during his lifetime, Darwin remained dedicated to his scientific pursuits and continued to push the boundaries of knowledge until the very end of his life. Today, his legacy lives on and his work continues to inspire scientists and researchers around the world. Thank you for watching. If you would like to obtain the documents that contain the texts we use in the videos, please help us with a subscription on our Patreon page. You will also help us to continue making more videos. Learning personal development will give you peace and well-being in your life. Please subscribe and give it a like if you liked it. Don't forget to check the video description to find more information that may interest you. Learn English with personal development. Goodbye.